All right, everyone. Good morning. Hope everyone has had their nice morning coffee. It's a pleasure to be here today and to tell you a little bit about what we do at FaradaIC Sensors. This is a new company. We founded this company in 2021. We're a startup that has essentially gone from concept phase between just conversations with myself and my co-founder to now commercializing our technology with our customers for the first time. So it's been quite a wonderful journey. We're supported by the European government with the EIC Accelerator. Of course, I have to thank them and our investors for getting to this point. But today, I want to start with, what is it that we do? So what we do is miniaturize gas sensors on chips to enable a new generation of IoT gas sensing devices. We've seen a need in the world for the products we're building, particularly in IoT, and I'll explain a little bit more of why we're doing this. Just a little bit of context of what motivated us. We've seen over the past few decades sensors become miniaturized. Things that were once large and expensive brought onto the chip, and when that happens, volumes increase quite substantially. There's often a need for those smaller, more cost-effective components, and that can only be achieved if you bring it onto the chip. And I think the most famous example of this is MEMS gyroscopes. If you were to walk on the street in 1985 and tell everyone that in 30 years everyone will have gyroscopes in their pocket, you would think that that person was insane. But lo and behold, 30 years later, we all have gyroscopes in our pocket thanks to the miniaturization of those gyroscopes onto chips thanks to MEMS technology. But we've seen this same trend continue with touch sensors, optical sensors, where our phones have 5, 6, 7 cameras, and definitely beyond that. But gas sensing has sort of lagged behind. It has not seen the same boom in volume as we've seen for other microfabricated products, and this really comes down to a technology problem. New gas sensors are needed in many of these applications, ones that are very small, cost-effective, can be integrated anywhere, and sort of blend into the background of our daily lives. That's how you know you've made it in the sensing world, when they're everywhere and no one thinks about it. But the current technology is insufficient to do this for a lot of the gas sensing that is out there today, and we see a growing need for oxygen sensing in particular. This is a type of sensor that has not been miniaturized yet, and we see that this is a need, and we have a technology to do this. Some applications for oxygen sensing that is emerging includes breath monitoring, something that has been done for many years, but now is being democratized amongst the people and in consumer products and high-volume medical devices. Food logistics, different atmospheric compositions want to be monitored in ways like never before. And then generally in energy economy, oxygen is definitely an important gas there. And the problem that we've encountered, or that our customers have explained to us, is that right now oxygen sensors are simply too large or expensive for the high volume of devices that our customers want to build. What you see on the right there is essentially state-of-the-art electrochemical sensors. This technology was first developed in the 1960s and really has not changed substantially since then. What our customers want from us is essentially an electrochemical oxygen sensor, but on a MEMS-like platform, something that can be scaled into high volume, is cost-effective, solid state, easy to work with, and even an SMD component that measures these gases. And so that is what we have built. And so what we're bringing onto the market this year is FaradaIC, which is, as far as we know, the world's smallest oxygen gas sensor. We can produce these in any MEMS foundry in the world. And this gives us a very strong advantage that allows us to essentially offer any of our clients essentially as many of the oxygen sensors as they can foreseeably need, since we can produce millions of these per year starting now. This is really the big picture here, and that is a small company like us with our current partners can produce millions of these sensors for the industry. And this is what our customers need, who have the ambition to produce hundreds of thousands, even millions of devices with oxygen sensing capability, but they just have not found the technology to do so. We can sense other gases. This is something in our pipeline. We've already tested on some of these gases here. Hydrogen and CO2, for example, even as an electrochemical sensor, we can actually detect. But right now, we're focusing on oxygen as our first product. And the way that we do this is with something called MEX technology. So MEX stands for microelectrochemical systems. So while we produce in a MEMS foundry and we call it a MEMS-like product, there are no moving parts in our sensor. The technology that we use, or the sensing principle, is electrochemical, but done on a very small platform, with the biggest difference being it's completely solid state. We do not use any liquid electrolyte. It is actually a solid-state electrolyte that we incorporate into the chip during manufacturing, and this is actually a material we produce in-house. So we're a bit of a fabless semiconductor company combined with a chemistry company, and through this combination, we're able to offer this product. And if you compare MEX technology to what exists out there for typical sensors, there are quite a few advantages, and happy, of course, to answer your questions here. But aside from it being smaller, we use way less power. We're talking microamps for a digital solution, low microamps. We have at least 3 times longer shelf life, and in fact, since we don't have a liquid electrolyte, nothing evaporates. So shelf life is really just like any other electrochemical or microelectronic component. Essentially, will last as long as you keep it and stored in a good condition. Shelf life and lifetimes in general are longer. We have way faster response times because it's smaller, and of course, cost is much lower. And these are just on the performance basis where we see an advantage, but the real big picture is here. These devices can be integrated anywhere. And so our vision here is to go from what exists today in the world of electrochemical sensing and eventually replace it with a MEMS-based or MEMS-like component that can be produced wafer scale. If we compare this to some other technologies where we see specific advantages compared to, say, traditional electrochemical, is really the size and cost. Most of our customers come to us and say, hey, look, the electrochemical sensors on the market today for oxygen are ideal in terms of performance. Just make it smaller, more cost-effective, maybe save on power if possible. So that's essentially what we've done here. But when it comes to metal oxide, what you see, it's sort of, the problem with metal oxide that our customers have approached us with is selectivity issues. Power is a problem because they have to be heated, and metal oxide cannot detect O2 to begin with. So as a technology platform, it's just not ideal for sensing this gas. So this is where we see the advantage with MEX technology. And where we're going with this is really to enable O2 monitoring in any package, container, vessel, no matter the size or the volume. This is the big picture. Of course, there's a device ecosystem that should be built around this type of sensing technology, something that we take a part in as well. But some applications include bulk food packaging, storage and transport, pharmaceuticals and cold chain, and even monitoring of electronics. If you need to know if the oxygen concentration has changed, we definitely have a solution there. And many of our customers are building devices that do just that, or would rather like to do just that. These are data loggers, tags, IoT devices, and smart packaging. These are essentially our first customers. And here's just an example of some of the data we can generate for them. So in this case, we're going up to 4%, since we need to monitor a transition from an inert atmosphere to an oxygen-rich atmosphere. And essentially, these are pulses, so we operate in pulsed mode. So the pulse only lasts about 100, 150 milliseconds, uses very little power. And also, we have these evaluation devices that are available for sale if you're interested in actually testing this technology. That includes also temperature and humidity sensing. And so, yeah, for food logistics, electronics, pharmaceuticals, and even asset monitoring in general is where our customers would like to go. So in the food space, what's the interest here? So some questions that we can help answer is, has the food spoiled? If bacteria, fungus, or something more nefarious is in the package, O2 levels drop, and we can detect that. In other cases, our customers want to know, has the packaging been compromised? This is something that we can monitor as well. And in the cases where the food is stored in some sort of controlled atmosphere, has the oxygen level changed, sort of deviated from an ideal state? Again, this is something that we can answer and help our customers implement an intervention. And so right now, what we offer our customers are these small devices, evaluation devices, basically that provide temperature, relative humidity, and oxygen. And this is something that you can connect by USB. We have web-based software you can use to test it out. And if you're interested in scaling up this solution with your devices or working with us, we have modules that we can offer based on these devices that can be integrated into devices. So if you'd like to learn more about what we do or have some questions, come meet us at our booth in 243. And we can of course chat in German, English, Russian, whatever you'd like, and help answer your questions. So thank you for your time, and look forward to hearing from you. Sure. So, any questions from the audience? Sure. So the question was, do we have any data regarding selectivity? So yes, we do. We have done those experiments. One of the biggest interferences for these types of style of electrochemical sensors is CO2. So we haven't seen any cross interference with CO2. But if you have any specific gases that are of interest for you in terms of selectivity, we can chat about that after. Yep. Oh, we have a question. Let's see. Yeah. So the question is, what is the price per sensor that's planned, and when will they be available for purchase? Yes, great question. So we have a price list we can definitely share with everyone here. But what I'd like to explain in terms of our vision, this has the potential essentially to be a MEMS-like component. It's not going to be a MEMS-like pricing yet. This will take quite a bit of time, especially compared to what's on the market today in the MEMS world. But the goal is essentially to reach MEMS-level pricing as we scale up. This will just depend on of course, volume and amount of time. So to give a bit of context, it is possible to have a full digital solution for under €5. Not today, but that's the vision.
One more question regarding the future sensors here.
Yes, so the question here is regarding future sensors, will it all be a single sensor or separate? Yes, great question. So our vision here as well is to microfabricate multiple sensing elements on the same die. Again, this is a lithographic process, MEMS fabrication, so we can essentially put whatever we want on the single die. And so our vision for next year is to offer our customers for evaluation an O2 plus CO2 sensing chip. So it does both gases on the same die, and this is something that our customers are quite interested in. And so, yeah, to answer the question of availability as well, this year we're offering our kits for evaluation. We're actually going to market with the first sensors for integration end of this year. So next year would be, I would say, our scale-up. I think that's about it, guys. And if you have any questions, please feel free to visit us at our booth. Thank you. I'll answer in the chat, yeah. Oh, yeah, so we got one extra question here. Sorry about that, guys. How does the sensor deal with humidity and temperature changes? So, of course, very important question. The answer is that it has to be compensated for. So our digital solution includes a temperature and humidity sensor to compensate for that.